aften og rigtig hjertelig velkommen her til En kærlighed, der forvandler. Vi har jo fået lov til at høre de sidste mange gange om forskellige menneskers personlige historier, helt personlige fortællinger om, hvordan de er kommet fra et sted, der var fuldt af desperation og fuldt af afmagt, til et sted, hvor de faktisk føler, at de har hånd om livet igen. Og det har været enormt spændende og enormt rørende at høre de historier. Og fælles for dem er, at der har været nogle helt klare principper, som de har taget i brug på den her rejse. Og vi har jo haft lov til at have besøg af ligesom bagmanden, hvis man kan kalde det sådan, bag nogle af de her principper. Og han har jo skrevet den her fine bog, som I kan få lov til at se, som hedder Loveworks, som hele organisationen også hedder. Og i dag så rejser han jo rundt over hele verden og underviser ud fra de her principper. Så vi er enormt glade for at kunne få lov til at velkomme ham tilbage til studiet. Så Weyman, thank you so much for joining us again.
Yes.
The third time, and sadly the last time in this round anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you brought with you a friend today.
I have.
Yeah.
This is Morten Bech.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Og du er jo faktisk fra Danmark, kan man sige, så vi kan få lov til at snakke dansk, så det er jo fint.
Det er dejligt.
Og du har simpelthen du er taget med i dag, og vi glæder os til at høre også din historie om, hvordan at de her principper, den her kærlighed, som hvis man begynder at ligesom lade den få råderum i sit liv, kan ændre ting på en helt særlig måde. Weyman, thank you for sharing your stories. I know I keep saying that, but that's just because I think they're so moving. It's wonderful to hear about that. And you want to keep sharing because I know you've got stories to keep us covered for the next 40 years. But
Well, I'd love to. I really would like to talk about how, as we receive love and as God begins to fill us with that love, and we experience healing in places of pain, we experience joy in the places of sorrow. We really discover that love is a transformational power, and it leads us out of darkness and into light. And all along the way, we're discovering God. We're discovering how good He is, discovering how much He cares, and His desire to lead us to life. But we have to choose, because it's not magic.
no.
And He doesn't force us. So we have to choose. Do I want to enter into this?
Yeah.
Do I want to dare and try?
And that's actually your book here. I just held it up just before and told people that this is what you're teaching is all written down here. And that is that choice you're teaching, the choice you have to make every day, right?
Yeah.
That you have to act on this love, not just sit down and say, yeah, that's fine, good. But you have to act on it and do something about it.
Love is really about a proactive choosing of life. And there's many times where in life we feel discouraged or sad or depressed or even filled with doubt. And if we remain in those places, then it will create a life that is not beautiful. It creates a life of misery. And we can choose to find our way out. And love is that choice that begins the stepping out of pain and darkness.
Yeah.
One of the weapons of love, and I like to call them weapons, we talk about them in the book. There are 6 weapons. Patience, kindness, bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. And when we engage these weapons in our daily life, love has a promise to us. For those who dare to choose love and to live from love, the promise is love never fails. That's a big promise.
That is a big promise.
And I had a lot of brokenness and darkness in my life. And I've definitely discovered that that promise is true for me as a man, that love has come into those places and is leading me to life. It doesn't always get me what I want, but it leads me out of pain and out of darkness, and it fills me with life so that I can face my daily struggle and overcome it. And that's pretty successful. Being able to come out of daily struggles and find life. So there's a weapon called Believes All Things. And it's about seeing people for who God created them to be.
But I could imagine, if I was really faced with a difficult situation, I would imagine I would think like this. Well, this guy, he doesn't know what I'm going through. This might have been working for him, but for me, no, it just ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah.
But I know you say it's gonna work.
It does work.
Yeah.
Because it's not rooted in us. And that's the thing about love that we come to understand, that love is really rooted in God. And when we engage love, we engage the limitless nature of God. So I'm limited, but if I engage God's nature, His love, I have access to limitless opportunity or possibility because God is without limit. And so He wants to teach us how to see people, to see what is good and beautiful about them, what's excellent, what's noble, what's praiseworthy about their life, and then to speak that over them, to acknowledge it, and to communicate life to them. So that's actually how I met Morten, was in a moment where he had heard me teach, and he came up to have a conversation. And I said, I'd like to pray over you. And as I did, I began to see some things about who is Morten. Who did God create Morten to be? And there were three things that came out in that prayer. One is that Morten is a man of truth, he's a warrior, and he's a man of action. And these three titles or points of identity, Morten could take in and begin to reflect on them. Well, if I'm a man of truth, what does that mean? If I'm a warrior, what am I fighting for? What is in me that is to fight for what's good? And if I'm a man of action, I don't just think about things, I actually go do them and make things happen. And these stirred up things inside of him that created change. And it wasn't difficult to do, to see these things and to speak them into him. And they began to do a work and release life and power inside him. And it created a story that he can share with us.
Ja, because this is your side of the story. Så hvis vi går over til dig, Morten, jamen, så har du jo ligesom den modsatte del, hvor at du siger, jamen altså det var dig, der fik de her ord at vide. Det må da have været, altså det er jo da noget af en oplevelse at få at vide. Altså måske hvis man slet ikke ser sig selv sådan, altså alligevel 3 sådan rimelig kraftfulde statements.
Ja, og jeg tror, der kommer en kraft med, når det er, at det kommer ud af kærligheden, som jeg oplevede det komme ud af. Så når vi får nogle af de ord at vide om os selv, så rammer det også noget i vores identitet, som det kan bekræfte, tror jeg. Og det bekræftede mig i min situation på det tidspunkt. Og det var nogle ord, jeg kunne holde fast i. Så jeg tror, selvom at min baggrund er, at jeg har en fantastisk familie, og jeg synes, jeg har nogle gode venner. Jeg var ikke noget, jeg manglede i mit liv. Så ramte det alligevel et sted i mit liv, hvor jeg længes, tror jeg. En længsel efter noget andet, end det, som jeg måske oplever, at den her verden nogle gange tilbyder os. Jeg tror, min rejse, den begyndte som, at jeg skulle gå på opdagelse i, hvad er det betyder, hvad er det, der sker, når det er, at vi inviterer kærligheden ind.
Ja, fordi nu snakkede jeg lige med Weyman, inden vi gik i gang, og han sagde, at din baggrund var, hvad han ville betragte som nogenlunde normal. Og man hører jo tit om folk, der har de her historier om, hvordan deres liv har haft et eller andet stort vendepunkt. Jamen, de kommer jo nogle gange fra nogle lidt særlige omstændigheder, men du har en normal baggrund, og har alligevel, altså, det tænker jeg, det er nok mange, der kan relatere til, at man tænker, at mit liv, det fungerer egentlig godt, men der er alligevel et eller andet.
Jeg vil i hvert fald også karakterisere det som normalt. Så det er jeg glad for, at du også har gjort. Men jeg tror, der er en dyb længsel inde i os, efter at skulle opleve mere af den kærlighed. Og jeg tror, det er ikke en hvilken som helst kærlighed. Og det tror jeg er en vigtig pointe i det. At når vi så begynder at gå på opdagelse i den kærlighed, som Gud han har skabt, så vil vi også begynde at opleve noget, som er den længsel, jeg tror, at der er i mange af os. Og så tror jeg, at min første sådan tror møde med det var egentlig også bare, at det er okay, jeg møder kærligheden i det her område af mit liv, men det er ikke noget, jeg kan invitere med ind i mine andre områder af mit liv.
Nej. Men så bliver det vel, altså, som jeg kan forstå det, så er det netop det der med, at man skal tage det med ud, at der gør forskellen.
Ja.
Fordi ellers så bliver det vel på en eller anden måde begrænset.
Og det tror jeg var min næste opdagelsesrejse. Det var, at selv nu har jeg spillet fodbold i rigtig mange år, og gjort det på sådan lidt semiprofessionel plan, og fået penge for det. Og min oplevelse var lidt, at desto højere niveau jeg kommer på, desto mere en verden er det, hvor jeg ikke så kærligheden som en del af den.
Ja.
Som var meget kynisk og til tider meget kold. Men også en verden, jeg elskede for mange af de andre ting. Jeg så den bare adskilt fra kærligheden.
Ja.
Men eftersom jeg selv begyndte at invitere kærligheden ind, og kærlighedens aspekter, det med, at kærligheden tror alt, og at kærligheden er tålmodig, men hvad betyder det egentlig i sportens verden? Og så opdage, hvad det kunne gøre i min egen karriere. Ikke kun resultatmæssigt, ikke kun det med, at jeg så blev verdensstjerne, men med det indre liv, at der fører med i det.
Ja, fordi så bliver jeg jo lidt nysgerrig, fordi hvordan er det så, man gør det? Altså jeg tænker, jamen, hvad nu hvis skal jeg overføre det på mit eget liv, ikke? Jamen, hvordan er det så lige, det lader sig gøre sådan helt praktisk?
Ja, så noget, jeg begyndte på mere de senere år, de sidste par år, var egentlig, at jeg skulle hjælpe unge fodboldtalenter med at skulle opleve den kraft, der ligger i kærligheden, og opleve det indre liv, der ligger i den. Så et ungt fodboldtalent, jeg på et tidspunkt snakker med, der har et ønske om at skulle være god til at lede sig selv, lede sine holdkammerater. Men hvordan er det, vi leder mennesker? Og der tror jeg, at kærligheden har en helt særlig rolle. Så han begyndte at skulle gå på opdagelse i, hvad er tålmodigheden egentlig?
Yeah. Og
hvad er det, der sker, når den kommer ind? Og hvis jeg er utålmodig, er det så gode eller dårlige beslutninger at tage en fodboldkamp? Så han spiller fodbold, og har en tendens til, at når han bliver sur, og det gør han primært, når alle andre laver fejl, så bliver han sur på den, og så sker der et eller andet inde i ham, og måden han prøver at håndtere det på, det ved at skælde ud.
Ja.
Det ved at råbe, det ved at blive vred.
Det tror jeg, der er mange af os, der kan ikke genkende til.
Præcis, og jeg tror, det der så skete, det var, at jeg kunne spørge ham om, så hvad gør det ved dig inde i dig selv, at du bliver vred? Så siger han, men jeg bliver bare vred. Jeg siger, men hvad sker der så med dit fodboldspil? Jeg siger, men det bliver i hvert fald ikke bedre, siger han. Og siger, hvad sker der så med dine holdkammerater, når det er, at du bliver vred? Og han sagde, de spiller heller ikke bedre. Og så kunne vi begynde at gå lidt på opdagelse i, hvad er det tålmodigheden som det ene aspekt, og hvad er det, at kærligheden tror alt er det andet aspekt. Så den næste kamp, han spiller, kommer han så tilbage, og han har et stort smil, og jeg siger, hvad er der sket?
Ja.
Så siger han, jamen, jeg spillede hele første halvleg, og ham her, der spillede venstre bak på vores hold, han var bare mega irriterende, og han lavede fejl, og jeg råbte af ham, og jeg blev vred på ham, og jeg spurgte, hvad hjalp det?
Har du ikke hørt efter, hvad jeg har sagt til dig?
Ja, og han sagde, nej, overhovedet ikke. Så i halvlejen, så kom jeg til at tænke på tålmodigheden. Og jeg kom til at tænke på det, at en leder altid tror på andre mennesker, selvom de laver fejl. Så han sagde, det kommer jeg til at tænke på i halvlejen. Næste gang han lavede en fejl, så sagde han huskede, at han skulle være tålmodig med ham. Så han kom ind et sted, hvor han kunne handle ud af fred. Det er det, vi ved, at frugten er. Tålmodigheden. Vi får en fred, der kommer med det. Så næste gang, der var pause i spillet, så går han hen og lægger armen omkring ham. Og så begynder han at coache ham og sige, prøv at høre, hver gang du laver den her fejl, så skal du spille bolden derhen i stedet for derhen. Og så sluttede han af med at sige en ting til ham, hvor han siger, at og det er fordi, jeg ved, at du kan, siger han. Og det er en af de ting, der ligger i det, at kærligheden, der tror på andre mennesker, også selvom at de måske ikke tror på sig selv, men så kærligheden, den tror på den.
Ja.
Og jeg spurgte så hvad skete der? Så sagde han, der skete 2 ting. Det ene, det var, at han begyndte at spille bedre, hans holdkammerat. Og han sagde, det andet, det var, at han begyndte selv at spille bedre. Og det tror jeg, det er det, vi har at opleve endnu, at når vi begynder at vælge kærligheden i situationer, som er stressfyldte, pressede, andre mennesker laver fejl omkring os. Når vi vælger kærligheden, så oplever vi, tror jeg, 2 ting. Det ene, det er den indre forandring, der sker inde i os. freden kommer. Og det andet, det tror jeg handler om den her med, at vi vil også kunne lede andre mennesker til liv, til endda at præstere bedre nogle gange, tror jeg.
Ja. Jamen, det er jo enormt interessant, men det er jo også det der med, at hvis vi oplever, at andre mennesker tror på os, jamen så er vi også på en eller anden måde, så vil vi rigtig gerne vise, at vi også kan leve op til det, og vi får lige det der skulderklap, der hedder, at måske kan jeg godt i virkeligheden, ikke?
Ja, og vi ved, at videnskaben egentlig viser det samme. Så i sportens verden kalder de det self-efficacy. Så det at når vi tror på andre mennesker, så har andre mennesker bedre betingelser for at vokse. Så jeg tænker, det er ikke fordi, at jeg tænker, videnskaben også begyndt at opdage små bidder egentlig af, hvad jeg tror på, at kærligheden kan.
Ja.
Og jeg tror, der er mere i vente, også inden for den del.
Det er jo spændende, og så lige få den kørt med ind, at jamen, der er faktisk måske en videnskabelig basis for det her, vi sidder og snakker om. Weyman, Morten is just telling me about how love can influence people, not just influence yourself and change your own life, but it can influence people around you as well. Like you were telling about with your dad. And that is, I know you have lots of more stories about that.
What's exciting is that, Morten received love in the way of belief.
Yeah.
I'm speaking belief to him, and it stirred up life inside of him, and he could begin to connect to those parts of his identity and find ways to live that out. But he also began to take that same aspect of love and see that he could use it and give it away to other people. So he shared one story, but he's got many stories. And if there was more time, it'd be awesome to hear the stories of him bringing love into the athletic world, into the coaching world, into the training world, and how that impacts people. And it's really powerful and beautiful. There's not any place that love can't go. We just have to choose to bring it and see what life it can create.
Yeah, because when I think of it, you said there's no place where love can't go, and I see this high-level business world, and executives with all their money and whatever corporations and that's not a world where love is welcome. But you say love has a place there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that people would recognize that when it's brought into those places, really what we long for, what real success and joy in life is only created when love is present. Outside of love, we're led to striving, and although we may get an appearance of success because of maybe our title or our financial status, the actual joy of life is missing.
Yeah.
Because that's created with love. One of the things I think is exciting about the aspect of love is that you don't have to wait to be an adult to learn or to practice. That kids can learn how to love and they can practice love. I have a story with my son who today is 14, and a couple of years ago I was leaving to go and teach, and my son came to me and he said, "Dad, before you go, I want to pray over you." And so for my son, that means I want to speak life to you.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, I'd love that." His name is Micah. So he starts out by saying, "God, I know who my father is."
Yeah.
And that suddenly hit me really hard, because as a boy, I could not say that about my dad.
No.
And suddenly the very first sentence out of my son's mouth filled me with so much joy. I know who my father is. And I felt this intense joy that I had discovered a way to connect to my own son.
Yeah. Despite of everything.
Exactly. That out of my brokenness, God taught me how to connect, how to come out of pain and darkness, and how to create life. And then he said that my dad is a man of courage. And he'd never said that to me before. And suddenly new life and energy came inside of me. And I felt this incredible sense of power and joy that my son sees me as a man of courage. And right then I thought, oh, I wonder what's coming up ahead, that I need to be reminded I'm a man of courage. And I went to speak, and it was the most difficult audience I'd ever spoken to. And I could go back to what my son spoke over me.
Yeah.
You are a man of courage.
Yeah.
Live as that man of courage. And it was exciting to know that I got that from my son.
Yeah.
You know, not from a therapist, not from a psychologist, not from my spouse, but my little boy looking at me. You're a man of courage. And I love that we can literally raise up a generation of people who can look at life and create things that are beautiful, even in difficult situations.
Yeah. I just want to take just a little bit of time to talk about this.
Yeah, let's do that.
This is in Danish.
We have it in Danish.
Yeah, it is in Danish, I think, at least. And I guess, I could imagine that people are being curious. They're curious right now. Sure. I am, at least. Thinking, wow, this sounds interesting. And now we have a book on the table. Can we buy that somewhere?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, because you have a ministry website, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll put that on the screen. Can you buy this book on the website?
Yes.
Great. Can you buy it in Danish on the website?
Yes.
Good. Well, that's commercial for you. So this material, what will it give you?
It's 13 weeks long.
Yeah.
On a 5-day week. So 5 days on, a 2-day break. In those 5 days, you will be in a rhythm. It's either a rhythm of receiving love, 5 days of receiving patience. What does that look like? How does God pour his patience into me, in my need, in my struggle? Then the next 5 days is giving.
Yeah.
So how do I give that patience away to people in their need, in their struggle? And so now we're discovering that love has a rhythm. It's receive love from God and then give that love away.
Yeah.
And it follows that same rhythm throughout the whole 13 weeks.
Yeah.
Receive love and give love away.
Yeah. So, and this is filled with concrete everyday examples that people can learn from, filled with teaching.
Yeah.
The teaching you travel.
Yeah.
And people can actually, is this something, this is actually my question, is this something you can do at home by yourself, or do you have, because I know you have courses.
Right.
Do you have to be a part of a
course? You can do this
at
home alone. I think it's more effective and most effective if you kind of go through it with somebody, because then you're sharing an experience and you're encouraging one another, and it is about love. So that's kind of a little bit difficult to do just by yourself. And we've seen groups of people make a decision to go through this together with some really incredible results right here in Denmark.
Yeah. Well, I think we're out of time, but thank you so much. I'll leave this here right now, and we'll put it on the screen so everybody can see what it's called and where you can buy it, because I think that this should be something available to everybody. This is an incredible way of transforming your life and transforming your way of thinking. So thank you so much for letting us let us hear a bit about the secret you have. Yeah. Thank you so much. And thank you, Morten. Tak til dig, fordi du også vil være med og dele noget af din historie. Så tror jeg bare, jeg vil sige tak for i aften. Husk at se de tidligere programmer, hvis I ikke har set dem allerede. Og så kan I besøge Weymans hjemmeside og få fat i materialet, hvis I har lyst til at se lidt mere på det. Så tak for i aften. Vi ses igen i næste uge.